You're listening to Momtrepreneurs and Motivators, created by real women to share real life experiences while balancing being a parent, running a business, growing ourselves, and reminding you that it is okay to not fit into life's little boxes. Dropping newness on you every Monday, here are your hosts, Tammy Whistle-Hubbard and Ashley Valdez.
Here we are again.
We're in the house. So, what are we doing today? How are you feeling? You good? Are you ready?
I'm feeling good. You look great today.
Thank you. We do too.
Boy, I can't wait to get my new microphone set up. I'm a little jealous of that. You got going over there.
I look too legit to quit at this point.
She does. She does. Girl got it going on.
I can't wait. I'm really proud of us because it's not about doing it perfect. It's just about getting it done. And we may not have all the equipment and all the tech and everything, but we're still here doing it. And damn it, I'm proud.
We're not using a tin can and string, so we're good.
that we're not. No, we're doing really, this is great. So we wanted to kind of keep the momentum going over from episode 1, where we were talking about our previous lives, our previous employment. And I thought it would be a great way to kick it off with just what happens leading up to the decision of leaving a steady, traditional job. What is the breaking point? What gets you there? Where is your head at? What are the events that lead up to major life change?
A lot.
Yeah.
It's
definitely a lot. Yep.
It's a lot. You know, it's a lot, and then it's not all at the same time. It's like just simple, but we complicate things so much in our heads, you know, at least I do. I know I do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that once you finally get outside of your head a little bit and just realize that you have to make a decision one way or the other. For me personally, it was really like the decision was kind of already made for me because I was so miserable. I couldn't stand it. And it was like, you know, I just kind of was like, I cannot be this miserable, not one more minute. I can't. It was actually, Ashley, turning me into somebody that I did not want to be. And I kept saying that to my husband and my kids and, you know, my mom and anybody that would listen to me bitch and complain about it. I kept saying, I am becoming somebody that I do not want to be. And I don't know how that is happening, but I just, you know, I just did it. I didn't even want to be around myself anymore. I was just done. And, you know, I worked for 29 years for the same company. And I think I mentioned that before. And I would have worked there until the day I retired. I loved my job and I loved my clients and I loved just, I fell into the job. First of all, I was pregnant with my daughter 29 years ago. And I went to interview at this job because I really needed to get out of the house and do something. Yeah. So I went and applied for this job, 4 months pregnant. And the sales manager said, God, you look just like my sister. I'm going to hire you. And he did.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And that's how I got the job, completely by a freak accident. I had no sales experience. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just
easiest
like, all right,
interview ever.
You know, whatever. They're going to pay me $10 an hour. I'll sit here and call people on the phone. It's all good, you know. Dude. So I did that for a really long time. And like I said, I loved it. And then the company was sold in bankruptcy and there was new owners and, you know, things changed within the business. And it was just, the work environment became really, really difficult. And I think that it became so difficult because there were management issues, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it. And that kind of stuff kind of trickles down and it kind of makes everybody grouchy and irritable when you feel like you're not being heard or listened to or valued in any way whatsoever. And so for me, it was like I dealt with that for the last 8 years, you know, and it just got progressively worse and I got progressively more irritable.
Yeah.
And the people that I worked with got progressively more irritable. It was a really not fun place to work by the time I left there. We were just at each other all the time, all the time. So, what
was
really
it that
was,
you were actually doing, if I can ask?
oh, I
Like, what were you, like, not where or anything, but like, what was your position? Like, what were you, you know what I
I
mean?
was a senior account rep, which means I was a sales representative. And so that's the only thing I know how to do. It's what I've been doing for 29 years. I don't know how to do anything else. And the only reason that I don't know how to do anything else is because I never wanted to do anything else. I kind of fell into it and I loved it. You
Awesome.
know, I loved it. But like I said, it became increasingly difficult. And then last year, in 2018, actually, we shut down in December for our Christmas break like we always do. And they were moving us into a new facility. And we were supposed to come back in January and be all set up in our new facility. Well, it didn't happen. We worked at home from the end of January until August. We worked at home.
Wow.
And it was just one crazy thing after the other. And I just was like, you know what? And that's when I said, I had that conversation with my husband and I said, I can't do this. Just not even one more moment. I can't. I can't pick up that phone. I can't call these. I just can't. I don't want to. And I just didn't want to do it anymore. I said, why can't I just have my own company? And he said, I don't know. Why can't you? You know,
it's like the best answer ever.
Yeah.
Such support. That's
every
isn't
now
that
and
so key to have a good support system.
It is. It was a crazy, chaotic thing to do. I was, 53 years old and I'm going to quit my job and start my own company. Well, that's a little bit asinine, It's a little bit crazy. What came in my head through this whole thought process was, I don't know if you remember, because you were probably really, really little, but Eastern Airlines was, see? Eastern Airlines was a huge company, okay? And my very best friend in high school, her dad worked at Eastern Airlines, and he had a really good position with the company. He had been there for a very long time. Well, guess what happened? Eastern Airlines closed. They shut down. They were no more.
Right.
So he lost his job. And I remember being over at their house, and he was looking in the mirror, and he said, I am 58 years old, and I have to start over. How do I start over at 58 years old? And he did. Yeah. Picked himself up by his bootstraps. They ended up moving far away, which was kind of a bummer. But I thought, if they can do it, I'm only 53, so I got I'm good. I got to be there like 5 years. I should be solid,
That's so great. Yeah.
But that's what I kept thinking about was, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's, Absolutely. I think, a big part of it too. They, Zig Ziglar, I don't know if you've ever read any Zig Ziglar.
Oh yes. Genius. Wonderful.
Yes. And he always says, you can get everything you want out of life if you help enough other people get what they want. Wow, and he also says that if you want to be successful, find somebody else who is successful and do what they do. It's very simple. So that's what I've done. I've just kind of copied people that are successful, and I'm hoping that eventually it'll rain down on me and I'll, it's not quite that easy, but that's what you have to do is you have to seek out and surround yourself by people that are successful and people that have done what you want to do and find courage in that. And, I'm not going to say that I wasn't afraid because, girl, I was terrified. I was terrified. I don't know what I was terrified of. I guess failing myself, because my family was super supportive. They were like, if that's what you want to do, then let's do it, Nice. And that was pretty much it. So on August 2nd, I went into my employer's office and I said, I got to go. And he was like, you're not even going to give a notice? And I said, got to go. Yeah. Here's your notice. I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, so, man. So that was pretty much my my sad little story, but it had a happy ending because I started my own company.
Yes, ma'am.
We have a promotional products company, and I work with a network of over 2,000 different suppliers all over the country. So I'm literally able to get any and all advertising items that anybody might ever want to have, and probably things you didn't even know you'd want to have. But
That's amazing.
so I quit on August 2nd. On August 8th, I went and applied for my LLC
Nice.
and got everything set up. And I took my first order on October 1st.
Woo!
And we ain't
That
looking
happened
back.
quick. That happened
And I
quick.
will
There
tell
you go. Yeah.
Not one moment of regret. Not one moment of regret.
Yes. Yes. So all of the fear and the frustrations that you went through for all those years of all the changes, it worked out.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
And there was a little bit of, why didn't I do this before? I should have done this 10 years ago. I should have done this and that. But you know what? You can't live in that either, because if I didn't do it then, there's a reason I didn't do it then.
Yes.
It wasn't in my plan for it to be. So here we are, And like I said, I'm 53, but I'm a young 53, so I'll be around for a few more years. So.
Hell yeah.
I got some nice neck cream that's kind of doing its magic here, so.
Yeah, it's looking good. Looking good.
I just put it on for the first time yesterday, and I used it today too.
Tight. And it smells lovely.
Oh my God, it smells amazing. Y'all, listen, this girl sells, she is, first of all, a firecracker. Okay.
If you couldn't tell, I'm a little wild.
Their products are freaking amazing. Amazing stuff.
Thank you very much.
So I got this really nice stuff for my neck. It's going to tighten things up a little bit. I'm going to be looking 25 next time y'all see me.
You're going to be looking, you're going to be giving your daughter a run.
Yeah.
Don't tell her I said
her
that.
mom. You
don't tell her I said that. Yeah.
Well, hopefully she'll know, because hopefully she'll listen to our little podcast. So that was my story, Ashley. What about you? What happened?
That was amazing. I've been sitting here like, wow, the similarities in such a short time compared to yours is absolutely ridiculous. So you were there for 29 years. I was working where I was working for only 2 years. And the whole 2 years that I was there was just turmoil from the moment I walked in to the moment I finally was out. So it was a small family-run company, and what we did was we were in the service of importing and exporting exotic animals, bringing in and sending out mostly horses and cows and things like that, like big exotic animals. And it was just a mess. It was family run, and there was just so many issues before I had even gotten there. A lot of financial issues, a lot of similar things to what you were going through. The work environment just was very uncomfortable. The leadership was not there. The management was a hot mess. There was verbal abuse. It was a very sketchy feeling. Like it was like walking in there, I just didn't even feel like the air around me didn't even feel good. Like it felt like I would walk in and drown in icky. The owner's very old school. He likes to try to do things under the table and sideways. And so that was another thing that just had me very uncomfortable. With all the financial issues and things, it was one of those situations like yours where the company was going to be sold, but the company was so bad that it ended up not even being able to be sold. I was hired, I was there, and what I was doing was, answering phones, answering correspondence. I was doing invoicing, I was doing collections, I was doing the filing, the paperwork, I was getting HR, I was getting our employees badged to work with customs in and out of the airport. I was doing a lot of different things. And then the VP left, and we had to downgrade to an even smaller office. So it ended up just being, that was another thing. It was a very lonely place to work because it was just us three in the office, and then it was just myself and the owner. And I already had like bad feelings toward him because, like I said, there was verbal abuse. It was just a disgusting work environment. It didn't make me feel good. There were always constant people yelling at each other, cursing at each other. It was very unprofessional. Everything that she had to do, her VP things, kind of fell on me. and I didn't know what I was doing. And so it became a lot of back and forth that he wanted something and I would have to contact her in New York, and she was so busy, she would take forever to get back with me. He was super impatient, so he would go around all of us and just do his thing, and his thing was usually not done with the proper steps. And so it would cause a lot more problems. And it just got to the point where I would come home, like I was saying before, I would come home so stressed out, so anxious. What are we gonna do? You know, this guy's messing up the stuff, and the clients aren't paying us. And that was another thing. He liked to work with clients who were similar to him in the way that they deal with things. So it was very sketchy people, didn't pay on time. There was many times where I was paid late, which as someone whose family basically lives paycheck to paycheck, we couldn't afford to be paid late or be paid less, because we have to, you know, pay the rent and the bills like everyone else. And so it just got so much, and I was bringing it home with me. And like you, I was just hating who I was because of that place. I hated how I was treating people because of that place. I was upset all the time. It wasn't good. It was not good. There was no room for growth. They had given me a lot more responsibility, but there were no finances. There was nobody paying. There was no way to pay me more than the part-time hours that they had me there. They strung me along for 2 years. And after a point, you can only be strung along for so long before you open your eyes to all the BS going on. And I can tell you exactly the very day that I knew I was done. It was a pay week, and like a few other ones before, there wasn't enough in the bank. And I knew that because I could see everything, because I was doing everything. I was the one woman office. So I brought it up to him. I was just like, it's a pay week, right? And he just lost it. Like, obviously, looking back, he wasn't upset at me. He obviously had to have been going like through something that day, because you don't just blow up on someone for asking about pay for the work that they have done and all the other
oh no, some people do.
Oh no.
That was another issue. Yes.
Oh no. Yeah. So just the environment, once the environment gets that toxic and management is that bad and everything is like that, and so he flipped out on me, called me an a-hole, was like, I'm tired of your stupid face, and like all kinds of things. And I got up and I walked out, and I called his daughter and I told her what happened, and I said, I'm not coming back. I'm the kind of person that may be too nice, maybe too naive, I don't know. She was like, stay home for a couple days. I stayed home for a couple days, and then I went back. And I went back and I worked again for another few months. And then by this time I had already found my it works. I found my people. I found my escape. It was just such a switch. I just was like, there has to be better for me. There's no way I can be this abused and be going home with anxiety, and this is not okay. This is not a way to live. Sure, it's a sort of steady check, but there was no room for growth. There was no peace of mind. I needed something that would give me purpose and joy again to do, something that I can actually help people and feel like I'm getting something out of it. Like I'm not just making money, but I'm also growing. I'm helping other people grow. And that's when I found my MLM, and it was scary. Of course it was scary.
Yeah, it is scary.
Because when like I said, we were already living paycheck to paycheck. And so it was like losing one paycheck would be insane, completely insane, because we have the twins. So we're paying rent, we're paying for daycare for the twins, because Dad and I both work. And daycare for 2 twins is like $800 right there. It's like another rent. And it was just so much, and it was piling on, and I was always stressed, and I was terrified because, oh my gosh, if my MLM doesn't work out, what are we doing? So those first 9 months of my MLM, I stayed there, and I totally had checked out of that office already, but I was still there. I was working both jobs until it got to the point where I realized I was making about the same, a little bit less, but about the same as what I was making part-time in the office, even more part-time at my house, or like, on bathroom breaks. You know what I mean? So
right? Yeah,
it was something, it was something that I could work into my time. I could have complete control. I could grow and I could help people. And so it just made sense. And I didn't have the support that you had, because I'm young, I'm 26, so I still, my parents are still very much in my business, and they give me their opinions on everything, and that's fine. That's
Oh, honey, that's never going to stop.
Yeah, they're parents. That's what you're there to do.
5 and 78.
Yeah, no, it's fine. That's what parents are there to do, and I don't mind it. But I didn't have the support behind me to be like, yes, do what you got to do. Like, no, I told myself that I had to do what I had to do,
right,
regardless of what anyone thought. And it was scary because, especially with MLMs, people are so like pre-judgmental about it, and even mean and rude. And I understand doing it now for over a year that those are all just preconceived notions that people have about things that they don't
right.
fully comprehend or have all the information about. So, it doesn't hit me the same way that it did when I first started and was all, oh, they don't want to do. No. Like you were saying, it's been so worth it. It's been completely worth it. It's been worth it to get past the negative people. It's been worth it to learn all of that I don't want in a job, all of that I don't want as a person who is now in a leadership position herself. I learned a lot about what I don't want to be like, and how to not treat people, how to be professional, how to, so it has all been a part of the journey. It's there for a reason. It's all timing. It's all there meant for you to get something out of it. And then that decision that I made the day he called me an a-hole was it. That was just it. It just snaps inside of you. And like I said, it's been worth it. Now I have an amazing community of people. I've met so many. I've networked with incredible, just outstanding, smart, talented, genuine people who truly care about other people. And it is such a switch from where I was, where they didn't care about anybody, and just worth it 100%. If you are unhappy to the point where it is changing you and your soul and your heart and the way that you are, you need to stop. You need to get out. You just need to get out. You need to find what brings you life. You need to find what makes you happy and go after that. And hell yeah, it's scary. And you might be like, how do I even start? You just start. You never know until you know. Like, that's just it. You'll never do until you do. And that's the crazy thing about life, is that we deal with all this negative stuff, but in reality, all it takes is that one decision to change your whole life. It's really very simple when you think about it, but it's still so hard because of everything else, everything in your mind, everything other people bring to the table, as if their opinions matter, as if they pay your bills, as if they're the ones coming home to your families. You know what I mean? Do you have anything to add? I'm just going to talk forever. I don't even know.
I went home, but I'm nodding my head. Yes, exactly. No, it's exactly true. And I'll tell you something else. Mm-hmm. Bravery is not the absence of fear. Bravery is being afraid and doing it anyway.
Doing it anyway, yes.
And anybody that tells you they did anything that has anything to do with a drastic change in their life, whether it be they change their job, they move, they, I don't know, have a baby, whatever it is, and oh, we were not afraid, we were not afraid. Baloney.
Oh, man.
I think that when I was pregnant with my children, I was terrified. Mm-hmm. I think that I was equally as terrified when I left my job. And because, like I said, I had done it for 29 years because that was all I knew how to do. And so I knew if I left that job, I had to do that same thing. But I was okay with that because I loved doing it. So it wasn't the job that I fell out of love with. It was the people that I worked for and with.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that they're bad people, because I don't believe that at all. Most of those people were very good friends to me for a very, very long time. But we all changed and we grew.
Yes.
Some of us grew in different directions. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. It just is.
Yes.
So I wanted to go and do this, and they chose to stay and do that. And that's fine. It's just not the same path. And like you mentioned something that I wanted to touch on also, because the MLM thing, a lot of people have a really negative attitude about MLMs. And when they think of MLMs, they think of things like, I don't know, Noni
pyramid
juice,
schemes and stuff.
They think of schemes and scams and, things like that. But I want you to remember one thing: Tupperware is an MLM.
Yeah.
Avon is an MLM. Okay, there's a lot of really good multi-level companies that you can get involved with. I sold Tupperware for many years. When you sell Tupperware, like you said, you meet some of the most genuine people, and they truly care about your success. And the reason they care about your success is because your success is their success.
We all are successful together.
That's the key.
Yes.
Like said it. Find people who are successful and do what they do. That's
Absolutely.
what the whole premise of a multi-level marketing situation is, to find people that are successful and do what they do.
Yes, it's all about duplication. Yep.
Right. I'm not in an MLM, but I'm certainly out there seeking people that are successful and copying from them. Okay.
Absolutely. Hello. There has to be a reason you're making $1 gazillion. Hello. How do I learn how to do that?
Exactly. And I don't need to make $1 gazillion. Although if anybody has $1 gazillion they want to spend, please feel free to give me a call and I can set you up with you'll get some promotional products like you never had before, sister. But yeah, I mean, that to me is just the most important thing when you're thinking about making those kind of decisions and moving yourself into a way of life. One of the most important things is, don't let that fear stop you from moving ahead. Don't let the fear control you. You say, okay, I'm afraid, but I'm going to do it anyway. Be more afraid of not doing it. Be more afraid of not moving forward than moving forward. Don't be afraid that, oh my God, what if I fail? Well, oh my God, what if you don't?
Yes.
What if you don't? What if you don't fail?
I truly believe the only way you can fail is if you just don't do anything. If you just sit on it. Because if you're sitting on it, you're not doing nothing. You got to do it. You got to do it. And like we keep saying, follow the people who have done it before you. Follow the people who have seen success. On paper, it seems so simple. On paper, it truly does seem so simple. Why do our minds...
Right. It is simple, though. It really is simple. And I don't know about you, but I know once I made the decision, it was like, okay, I could breathe again. Yeah. Even before I actually did the thing, even before that, once I had made the decision, and then every step, because I made the decision in like middle of May, maybe. Middle of May, end of May, in there. And then it was beginning of August before I actually did the thing. I spent all of that time researching what I wanted to do and making sure that I had all my ducks in a row.
Yes. I think it's just so funny how this happened with both of us about the same time.
Yeah.
And how it's very similar, how it's about, management and leadership and the work environment. And yet age-wise, we're so far apart. Experience-wise, we're so far apart. And yet all these things are so similar. And that just blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, right? Like it was meant to be. Like it was meant to be.
You could
I believe it was for me, and I told you many times over that, no matter what anybody says to you, you do you. Because people are always going to say negative things. They're always going to think they know better for you than you know for you. Correct. That's the other thing that I think is an important ingredient in that decision-making process too, Ashley, is weeding out all of the extra noise from everybody who thinks they know. And I'm not saying that these people have ill will towards you or that they don't believe in you. Right. They are just afraid for you.
Yes, they don't get it. They just don't know.
Exactly. They don't know what you're made of. That's the point. They don't know what you're made of. Exactly. Only you know what you're made of. So that's the reason you can't let that get in. If you let it in, you're done. I appreciate your opinion. Thank you so much. And move on to the next topic.
Boom, baby.
Boom, baby. Exactly.
leadership, management, self-development, all of these things are so very important for life and for doing business with other people. That is all I want to say, because wow.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. What else can we add to that? I mean, it's anybody that's thinking about it. If you're on the fence, you've been, unhappy, you've been kind of worried, like what's going to happen with my job. And especially now, so many people are out of work. So many people are affected by the virus and all of that, and their incomes have been affected. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Now I don't even want to think about, if I would have stayed over there, like I said, it's importing and exporting exotic animals. You think they're doing that much?
That ain't happening, sister.
Absolutely not. You just never know what your plan is, what the timing is. It's crazy when it happens for a reason, and sometimes you don't know that reason until a year later, 5 years later. Oh man, you don't know that you need those people that want to lift you up and not just order you around. I'll tell you a story really quick. My uplines, Rachel, I'll go ahead and say her name, Rachel and Sean, they're amazing people. They were living up in Clearwater, and they knew that I was very nervous to go check out this church. They drove from Clearwater down here to Miami just to go to church. Yes. They drove down here to go to church with me. They spent the whole day with me. That evening, they came back home, hung out with the kids, met Jordan. They prayed with me. They prayed over my apartment, my business, my family, everything. I never would have found this if I didn't have the courage to make the decision and say, I'm out of this office.
Oh,
yes. And I wanted to bring her up because Rachel is going to be making a special guest appearance on our podcast this month.
That's going to be amazing. That is going to be amazing. Now, I've only met Rachel virtually, I think, through Facebook posts. But yes. I watched a couple of lives that you guys did where she participated in those as well. And she's a hot tamale, you guys. I'm excited for you to meet her because she's going to be fantastic.
She is just about to pop. She's having a little girl. We just had a virtual baby shower. Oh my goodness, it was amazing. I'm so excited to have her on. I can't wait.
That is going to be a blast.
Oh,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do, you guys. If you know what, we're going to surround you with people that are successful. If you want to seek out people that are successful and do what they do, this is the place you need to be, because that's what we're going to do. It's all about being who you are, being true to yourself, and doing what you're afraid of, even though you're afraid of it. And it's okay. Yeah. Getting outside the box. We're going outside the box. We're going to throw the boxes in the trash.
So it's the courage to make the decision, and then taking the action to actually go through with the decision, and then deciding to take quitting off the table after all is said and done. Don't go back to the misery. Don't go back to the box. Why would you? No. Be free. Be free, little bird.
Once you're outside of that box, the great thing is that the only person who determines how far you can go is you.
Woo! Say it again for the people in the back.
Once you are outside that box, the only person who determines how far you can go or how high you can fly is you.
Woo!
That's it. That's it.
Straight facts, straight facts.
Thank you for joining us this week on Momtrepreneurs and Motivators. If you haven't already, please head over to facebook.com/momtrepreneurmotivators to subscribe to the show so you won't miss a date with the ladies. And while you're there, please leave a review so we can continue to bring you the freshest content. We'll see you next Monday.
Boom, baby.